I've worked as a photographer for the past few years, and although my favorite type of photography is fine art portraits, I would be lying if I said that majority of my money that I make off photography comes from selling cool stuff like prints and books and doing fine art portrait shoots. Don't get me wrong, I do make money doing these things, but the majority of my income actually comes from video work and real estate photos. I really like doing video work, and real estate, although it's not super fun, it's still rewarding because I get to use a camera, I can still be creative at times, and I really get to see a lot of different types of houses, you know? I'll go to really not so nice areas, followed by a $1.7 million home in downtown Cincinnati that there's no way I would ever be able to step foot in otherwise except to take photos. Most of my photo work that's not real estate, I used to put up on Instagram a lot. I've not really posted there a whole lot lately, but I used to put up all these cool photos on Instagram thinking that, oh, everybody wants to see these on their screens on their phones or on their computers or whatever they're surfing like Instagram with, which is true. But I found that actually seeing physical printed photos feels a whole lot better than seeing it through a screen. So last week I decided to get some photos printed that I've taken over the past couple years. Some of these were in a book that I released like 2 years ago, I believe, called My Ohio, which is just a bunch of 35mm and medium format film photos of Ohio, Southern Ohio specifically. And some of these photos are photos that I've taken more recently, as recent as the last video I did where I did the film photography walk. Like I mentioned, I have printed photos before in the form of a photo book, and I had various size copies of that released, but there's something different about printing larger photos. I only ordered 12x18s and 12x12s, but that's still bigger than the photo book that I did before. So just as a start, I did some smaller size prints, and seeing them in person just feels more, I don't even know how to explain it. All I can say is this video is not going to do it justice, because when you look at a printed photo that you've taken versus a video that shows photos that you've taken or a video that shows prints that you've made, it doesn't feel the same. Actually having something that you can physically touch just feels better when it comes to photography, because photography today, even if you shoot on film, is a very much a digital thing still. Everybody that shoots on film just scans things on the computer and then puts it up on Instagram. So in reality, although these photos were taken on film, most of these photos are just digital copies of a film photo. So when you actually have a physical print, it kind of feels like that film negative came to life. Now I got these digitally printed, but I'm going to look into darkroom printing for all my film negatives. So I've got a lot of these film negatives still like floating around. I made the mistake of throwing away a lot of them though, so oops. But the ones that I do have, I will be finding and maybe trying to find a darkroom in this area to try to learn how that works and print my own photos. Jumping back into printed photography, every now and then when I'm looking for inspiration, I don't actually look at Instagram or Google things or look at Pinterest or look at anything on the internet. I actually pull out two different books. The first book I look at for inspiration is my good friend Earl's book. It's called Ichigo Ichie, and it's a collection of film photos shot both in, I believe, Denver, Colorado, and in various areas of Japan. I believe Tokyo and Okinawa are both represented in this book. It's just a fantastic book. I love the paper that was used for these photos. It's not glossy, it's nice and matte colored. I really like how that looks, and I like the layout of it. It's just a very creative book, and there's a lot of photos to go through. And the second book I look at is Todd Webb in Africa. So this photo book is composed of a bunch of different African countries in the 1950s and the industrialization of Africa in that period. Really inspirational stuff. I really like the idea of documentary work, so this is a really huge documentary project, and I think that one day I would love to tackle something that big. So every now and then, when I'm looking for inspiration, I'll look at work that I've printed before, and I'll look at other people's work that's printed, and so I decided to print these photos. Now the theme of this video, I guess, is to tell you, if you are a photographer, go out and print your photos. Just even if you're an amateur photographer and you pay a couple dollars to get 1 or 2 prints, go do it. It'll make you feel a lot better. It feels different when you can hold something that you took a picture of and you don't have to look at it through a bunch of pixels on a screen. At times I feel like I haven't really done that much in regards to like photo work. You know, I'll look back on the past couple of years and I'll think like, oh, the pandemic really killed this stuff, and like my Instagram didn't blow up like everybody else's did, and my work doesn't seem like it's really that good a lot of the times. I think that it's really kind of like pandering at times, and I think that it's just really generic sometimes. But then when I'm going through all these photos that I've taken trying to find out what I want to print, I really see I've grown a lot as a photographer. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. Half the photos that I took were terrible. The other half were just okay. And then I had a select few that I really, really enjoy looking at. And I think that that's kind of what happens to everybody. So for me, printing these right now just kind of makes me feel better about what I'm doing. And I think that it might be something that other people might be interested in. I've actually got some up here on the wall right now. You can't really see them in this, but I'm sure that I'm going to show this in the edit somehow, like the photos that I ended up keeping. I just did a short round of photos to print, and I will be selling these, but I'm not sure exactly when. When these do go up for sale, I'll put a post up on, Instagram and TikTok, and I'll make a YouTube video about like where you can find them and how much they're going to be and all that stuff. So thanks for watching. I know that this didn't really follow like a storyline or like a linear format like I usually try to do, but I just wanted to talk about this stuff, and I didn't have a whole lot of clips to use, so this is what I've got. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, which you can find here, and Earl's Instagram is right here. He's a really good photographer. I think you would really enjoy looking at his stuff. I'm also going to link him in the description because I just think he's great. So check out his Instagram as well, and see you in the next video. Thanks.